And it looks like I'm live. I haven't been on for a while. I've been kind of running in controlled chaos here, trying to wrap up the new year. I've got two houses torn apart still, waiting for countertops to come in on the second one, and then can try to get some occupancy filled. And then I'm closing on a third one here that's going to need to be torn apart here in 2 weeks. So a lot on my plate, and just kind of the chaos of an investor. And feels like I'm getting nothing done, but I just keep stacking stuff on top. I end up having to do most of the work myself. Struggle with having tradespeople show up on time. I had a shower that was leaking here, and pulled the tile out just to let it dry. You know, a couple of the square tiles came off the shower surround. So contacted, he's a good tradesman, and yeah, I can get to the project. And he tears it out, exposes the studs, because the sheetrock was soaking wet. I couldn't just glue the tile back on. So I'm going to put in a fiberglass surround. So I provide the materials and going to have him do the work. And then suddenly he's busy. He can't get back to the project. So then I got to go there and I finish the job myself. So that's kind of the way things are going right now. There's just not a lot, not many people in the trades. Ken McElroy did a good video on this too. So he ran into finding that he could hire. I shouldn't say that. He's talking about the labor. You can hire people overseas for a fraction. That white collar work is pretty easy to come by. So I can get a lot of that white collar stuff done. I can find people to do those jobs, and it's cheaper for me to pay them and then me to do this work, because when I do get a sub that can do the work, they're very expensive, and I have the ability to do the work myself. So I find I do the trades and hire out the white collar work. But it's kind of a juggling act trying to do everything, wear all the hats and jump from task to task. But that, I guess that's the life I chose. So that's kind of what I'm dealing with right now. I'm trying to wrap these up before the end of the year, so I haven't been on YouTube that much because I've been doing the work out in the field, and then I get back and I'm tired and I've got to deal with other stuff. And what I'm finding is I'm gearing up for 2025. So I'm going to expand a little bit. I'm going to try to hire more out and take more on. And so I've geared up for more marketing, hired marketing team to go do that. But now I've got to train these people on how to cold call and how to do the marketing, setting up the SaaS or whatever, software as a service. And I'm starting to, last night it kind of hit me how much I'm spending on my credit cards just on software as a service. It's just brutal. I mean, it's I got to sell two more houses just to cover all that. And then I don't even know what I paid for, right? I'm jump on there and I've got to get a website built out. And so I start cranking that out, and every little widget you put in there, they want a monthly fee on. And it's, I'm up against a timeline, and so I end up subscribing, and so now I got to start weeding that out and start canceling a lot of these services and see what I paid for. So my property management software, I didn't realize, but I'm on the premium version of it, and I get a free website with it. So now I'm going to have that implemented, and so it's just controlled chaos. I would love to just take time and get organized, but I've never been organized. It's always just been like a race car driver, just on the edge of out of control. And then you go into a banker, and then everything has to be neat and tidy and perfect, and it's just like I don't run that way. So those are challenges I run into. So 2025, I'm optimistic on. I think 2023, 2024, the interest rates cranking up, the inflation. I think 2025, second half, we're going to see rates come down. And the reason I think that is I think Doge and government spending is going to start to go down. And that is kind of the source. That is the source of inflation, is government spending. So if that gets reined in, I think that inflation will come down. And I base that purely off of Milei in Argentina. He's absolutely crushed inflation there just by reining in government spending. And I think we're going to see the impact of that here too. And it doesn't take long. Milei had down 200%. Inflation was down 200% in Argentina in the first year. So I think in 6 months we're going to see a big impact on that. And I think the first round is going to be that pipeline is opened up and the gas prices are going to drop, and business needs affordable energy to produce. And then that will start to bring down costs of all the goods and services. So I think we're going to see immediate impacts, and I think it's going to take a few months for it to register in the stats. So I think the second half of the year is going to be good. So based on that, I'm going to gear up that we need inventory on housing. So I'm in the business of providing housing. That's what I do. That's what investors do, right? We provide rental housing, or we build new houses, or we sell existing houses, or fix them up and resell them. Either way you slice it, if you're in real estate, if you're in residential real estate, you're in the business of providing housing. So housing's needed desperately. How do you provide housing? Right. If you're in some markets in the U.S., there might be a short-term glut of housing, and it's not that there's a glut of it; it's that the demand has dropped off because of interest rates. So it's still, housing is needed, but maybe short-term you need to pause and let the market catch up. The short-term, supply or the demand dropped a little bit, but where I'm at, the demand is still there. It's lower because of the interest rates, but the supply is still extremely low. So I'll share this screen here, and I haven't gone through this yet. Like I said, I'm just kind of running on chaos here. So we'll go on to, let's see, weekly market activity. I have to look on this screen over here. So just kind of a quick new listings. The dotted line is 1 year ago. The blue line is current year. We are down 1% year over year. Last month. So overall, we're up about 9%, it looks like, than the new listings. Pending sales are up 3% year over year. This is what I want to see is inventory. We went from 77.98 to 78.32. So we are, last week, we're just up 0.4. So 3-month average, we're up 9%. Days on market has increased. Median sales price is still going up. That's up 3% year over year to 375. The median percent of original list price received, we're getting closer to list price now, 97.6%. Housing affordability index is flatlined at 118. That means things are not very affordable. The index affordability, 118 is the median household. The median household income is 118% of what is necessary to qualify for the median priced home under prevailing interest rates. And then 2.3 months supply of homes. Long term, it's been considered about 5 months as a balanced market, 4 or 5 months. It takes about 6 months to build a house, a bigger house. You used to be able to crank those out in 3-4 months. But the houses have gotten a lot more complicated, a lot more codes going into it, a lot more wiring, plumbing. It's just there's more to these houses now. So, and then labor is there's a shortage on labor. Permits take a long time now too. I have a friend who pulled permits on his house 8 months ago, and he just got them in the mail, but he had already finished all the projects. He just stopped waiting. He just went ahead and remodeled the kitchen and bathroom. And he took photos on the whole time, so we'll see how that plays out. But the cities are not fast turning these permits around either, so governments are not efficient. So where are we here? I just lost my mouse. This whole thing froze. How did I do that? Stop sharing. Let's try this again. Somehow I hit a fancy feature there and it just locked up. And it did it again. Edit with Acrobat? No, I don't want to do that. Let me refresh that screen. I guess that's it. I'm at the bottom of the list. So anyhow, that's the local market here. The demand is down. The need for housing is there. Once that demand kicks in, so let's say Doge does drop inflation, I do think rates are going to come down or stabilize. Optimism will pick up. Gas prices come down. That's going to open up people's budget a little bit and bring the costs of goods back in line. So I do think we're going to see inflation get cut in the first 6 months, first half of the year, and I do think rates will dip down a little bit. Are they going to go back to 3 or 4? No, but they're going to go to the low sixes, I think. So even if we hit like 6.5, I think the market starts to tear, and I think the demand's going to pick up again. But either way, it doesn't matter what the market is. We need housing, so I'm just going to focus on my niche, and I'm expanding my business to try to bring in more opportunities to provide more rental housing. And what I can't convert or what doesn't make sense to convert for my buy box, I will put up for sale. I'll either buy it and resell it or list it for the owners. So I'm expanding the prospecting for new business that way, and we'll see where that goes. Gets a little nerve-wracking. I'm shelling out a lot of money with not a lot of cash flow yet to back it up, but just expecting that payday will come to pay for it. So that's where it gets a little nerve-wracking. And then trying to manage it all, take care of fires as they come up and subs not showing up. And like I said before, it's easier to hire out this the white-collar work than it is the blue-collar work. So, so my days are spent there. So I'm on my way to patch a wall where dogs tore open some sheetrock, and then off to another job to try to finish that rental property that got destroyed by the tenants. And I've got good properties. These are not in bad areas. These are not bad tenants. This is just, well, the one tenant was bad, but that was, they had good credit, so there's nothing I can do on that. It's just a chance we take. They just moved a lot more people in, and occupancy did all the damage, over occupancy. So that's what I got. Not very coherent this morning, but I've got 18 things on my plate. The biggest frustration right now is not the blue-collar workers, not being able to find them. It's dealing with software as a service right now when you're trying to set up these systems and you need help. Some of these tech guys are not very good at communicating. And I don't have the patience to sit there and try to learn it. Got too much going on, and they don't speak very consumer friendly. It's just not a lot of social skills with some of these tech guys. So that's all I got for today. I just wanted to jump on. I haven't been on in a while, so I didn't disappear. I've just been kind of swamped here. I'm going to try to make this more regular. That's my commitment to 2025. As I'm expanding my business, I do want to try to do this more of a daily or every other day routine on jumping on. So if you got some ideas for content, let me know. I'm getting frustrated with the content I'm seeing on YouTube. Everyone's going doom and gloom. The world's going to end. Click here, clickbait, clickbait, clickbait. It makes my stomach just want to churn, and it's a waste of energy. So I used to love YouTube to be able to find information to learn and grow from. It's getting harder and harder to find as people are chasing clicks rather than just sharing what they're going through. So I'm going to try to avoid that. So if you see me go clickbaity, call me out on it. So that's all I got. Have a good day, and I'll check in hopefully tomorrow or the next day. So take care. Have a good one.